Hello everyone, drum tech drummer and online educator Kenny Sharretts here with a quick review of the latest addition to Roger's top line of drums, and that is the Cleveland series. Now, I got hold of their Covington series a few years back, which was a recreation of Roger's mid-60s 3-ply 2-re-ring shells, and I gotta say that Rogers crushed it when it came to recreating the sound of those drums. If you've watched my comparison video, you know the truth. The modern ones sound just like the old ones. They have a beautiful sustain, a great bright tone, and I absolutely love them. But today, we're talking about the Cleveland series, where Rogers took the time to recreate the mid-70s drums with 5-plies and 2-ply re-rings. And I gotta say, when it comes to recreating that rich, thick, powerful sound that you got from those Rogers drums, Rogers has crushed it again, y'all. These drums sound phenomenal. The build is incredible. Just like I said, they're 5-ply shells with 2-ply re-rings made of the finest North American maple and poplar available. They're assembled here by Rogers USA shop team, and the bearing edges are hand sanded with a 45-degree inside and a rounded outside to bring the thunder to these drum shells. And thunder is what you feel with every stroke of these drums. The thing for me is that when I first got introduced to Rogers drums and I heard those 70s kits, they were so powerful. And when you hit them, they just hit you back. And these drums do the same, y'all. Now, in their literature, they talk about the fact that these drums play a size up, and they ain't lying. In this first tuning, I did a higher tension on the 13 and 16 that normally on most drums would be a little bit on the high side, because I'm doing the John Good tuning, where I have the top head tight and the bottom head looser. It's a major third interval between the heads. And I was totally blown away at how deep the sound of these drums are and how rich the sound of the tone was, even at a higher tension. Now, I could sit here and talk about these drums all day long because I absolutely love them, but the proof of the pudding is the sound of these drums. So let's get to the tunings that I have. I'm going to demo a couple of tunings for you, and we're going to check out the sound of these Cleveland series. Okay, y'all, here we are behind the kit with the next tuning, which is perfect fourths on the toms. Now I lower the fundamental pitch of each top head and then raise the bottom head up a perfect fourth above the pitch of the top head. Now I have a perfect fifth between these drums and a perfect fourth between the top head and the bottom head. And this is a more modern tuning, something that I use often on the road with my artists. I just find it effective in larger venues, arenas, and stadiums because it's got a tighter sustain, a more focused tone, and a nice punch that cuts through the mix and gives your engineers something to sink their teeth into without having to use much EQ. Actually, usually just shelves. Another reason I wanted to do this tuning is on a supposed vintage kit. I wanted to show you how you can get truly modern sounds that'll work in any style of modern music, from rock to metal to pop to modern country to hip hop to even modern big band. This kit can do it all, y'all, and so I'm going to enjoy showing you this different tuning and how it affects the sound of the kit, so you can see just how versatile this Cleveland kit is. Also, I wanted to mention two things. One, the heads on these drums. Now on the toms, I have the stock coated ambassadors from Remo that came on the kit, single ply heads, coated. On the bass drum, I did a more modern setup that I find common with my artists that I tour with, and that's something that I tend to use in my drumming because it's a more focused, punchy, direct tone that again gives the engineer something to work with without a lot of ring. So I used a Power Stroke 3 coated on the back from Remo and a Remo Ebony Power Stroke 3 on the front with the pre-cut hole. Now these come with stock Ambassador coated heads, which sound amazing when you tune them wide open and you want a big singing, ringing bass drum sound. Believe you me, this bass drum can get it. But I wanted to get a more modern sound out of this kit and give you more focused, punchy tones so you can really hear what this kit can do for you. Now on the snare drum, which is a Rogers PowerTone 8-lug snare drum with a 2.3 mil hoops, I used an Ambassador snare side on the bottom and a coated controlled sound on the top just for a basic fundamental single ply head with a little bit of control on it, y'all. And if you don't know about these PowerTone snares, check them out, y'all, because for the price, you can't beat it. It's a workhorse snare that can cover any style of music, and I absolutely love this snare drum, y'all. So let's go to the next topic that I was talking about before we get to the tones, which is this kit tunes flawlessly. The bearing edges are perfection, and changing the tunings on these toms took minutes. I mean, literally minutes for me to just flip the tunings around, went straight to the pitches I wanted. Everything stayed even and balanced because they're phenomenally made drums, y'all. Truly a top-of-line product. So let's go ahead and give a listen to some of these tones with the perfect fourth tuning. Oh my God, y'all. This kid is absolutely smacking, man. I swear. Oh, man, this is a tuning I use often. And to hear it and feel it with so much power, to actually, like I said before, feel these drums actually punch you back is a joy and a pleasure. It's the sound that blew my mind when I was young, when I first heard Rogers 5-ply drums, and these Clevelands they do not disappoint, man. I'm absolutely blown away, man. So let's go ahead and check, excuse my happiness, but man, this kit sounds amazing, y'all. So let's go ahead and check out another tuning, y'all, and see what this kit can do at an even tuning and maybe even in higher tuning, and just kind of see what we get out of this amazing Cleveland Series kit from Rogers, y'all. Okay, y'all, so here we are behind the kit with the third tuning. And to go ahead and make the video quick, I went ahead and made the third tuning the higher tuning, where I raised the bottom head of both toms to the pitch of the top head in the first tuning. So this is a lot higher, a lot tighter setting that I would have for big drums like this. And I gotta say, to be honest, I am blown away by two things. Number one, the deep tones I'm getting out of these Cleveland drums at this higher tuning. I would not have expected it, but this drum kit just keeps punching back, man. It just keeps giving you deep tones at every tuning, so I'm really impressed with that. The number two thing I was impressed with is how quickly I could tune this kit. Going from tuning to tuning was a breeze, which is the mark of killer bearing edges and a well-made kit. So when Rogers says this Cleveland kit is a top-of-the-line kit, they ain't lying. From the build, to the tones, to the bearing edges, to the look, it is the complete package, y'all, and I'm duly impressed with this Cleveland kit. By the way, y'all, if you like the tunings in these videos, please head on over to kennysharretts.com, where you can stream the free lesson that includes the TuneBot settings for every tuning I used in this video, including the bass drum and the snare drum. You can also check out step-by-step lessons that teach you how to tune drums based on my 24 years of experience as a pro touring drum tech with people like Stevie Wonder, Rihanna, Janet Jackson, and Dead & Company. And now, without further ado, let's go ahead and listen to even tuning at a tight tension on these drums. Solid. Man, I'm absolutely loving this tuning, y'all. In fact, I loved all three tunings on this Cleveland kit. This drum set is totally blowing me away. I absolutely and completely love it, y'all. So I hope you enjoyed this video showing you what the Cleveland drum set is capable of. If you like the tunings on this kit, please again head on over to kennysharretts.com to stream the free video that'll show you all the TuneBot settings for every tuning that I used on this kit, including the bass drum and the snare drum. And also while you're there, you can check out step-by-step lessons that teach you how to get the drum sound you want every time you tune, while helping to support my YouTube channel, y'all. Solid.